Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, like, you know, singers, dancers, actors. Sometimes I do royalty, politicians, but today I'll be pivoting. I'll be analyzing, well, I've wanted to do this for a while. I want to analyze the signs through the lens of understanding planetary placements. Well, today, not planetary placements. We'll be looking at the nodes. But I want to explore the signs according to placements because it's more specific and it helps people a little bit more than just generally going through the signs and not understanding how different placements in different signs are different, you know. So today we'll be looking at the North Node and the South Node through the signs and what it all means, okay? Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know, if you'd like to support me, I do 15-minute synastries, 15-minute chart readings and transit readings, and then I also do 5-minute focus readings for really specific questions. And those are all MP3 and they're sent to your email. And then I also have a YouTube members, so I will be posting case studies of nodal returns and North Node placements in my members. So if you really like the analysis of your North Node and South Node in this presentation and you'd like to know more, I will be posting more information about that, your specific North Node, in the members in the coming days and weeks. Okay, thank you so much. All right, so let's just do the difficult stuff first before I dive in, okay? So what are the nodes according to science? Okay, and I got this from Stack Exchange, astronomystackexchange.com, because they explain all the sciencey things there. So it's very helpful. Thank you. The lunar nodes are where the moon's path and the apparent path of the sun, known as the ecliptic, intersect. So as you can see with this picture, that the North Node looks like a horseshoe, right? Horseshoe or headphones. Then it's right there. You see how these two lines intersect here, right? And then you've got the South Node here, and the two lines are crossing over each other there. So that is the North Node and that is the South Node. It's when the two paths meet, okay? The path of the moon and the path of the sun, okay? And that changes, okay, because the planet's always moving. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Let's move down. Now, what are the spiritual meanings of the lunar nodes? The South Node is what is familiar to you and the gifts you were born with. It's your past life. So it's the energy that you've already mastered. The North Node represents your fate, destiny, and your life's mission. It's the energy that you have to learn how to master, right? And as you can see here, I've put another little diagram here, because in astrology it's not the sun that's the center of the solar it's the solar system. The sun is the center. In astrology, Earth is the center. We are at the center of it. So from our perspective, this is what it looks like. The sun is moving around us, the moon is moving around us, and you can see how the two paths intersect here. That's what the North and South Node are. Okay, so I hope that all makes sense. And yes, the spiritual meaning of the North Node is to move forward, and it's the compass that points north, going in this direction and achieving your life's mission and mastering that energy, whereas the South Node is the thing that you have to release. It's the thing that you are familiar with. You can go back to it. It's always with you, but you've got to let it go. Okay, so these are the glyphs. So this is the South Node. It's an upside down horseshoe, and the North Node is right side up horseshoe. Okay, so the past, the familiar, the mastered energy. The North Node is the future, the unfamiliar, and foreign energy. And it's the energy that you have to learn how to master. All right. Eclipses, which you can see in the picture here, eclipses and transits over the nodes will make these energies more apparent and push you into making changes in order to accomplish your mission. Your spiritual awakening will accelerate during your nodal returns and your nodal oppositions. So let's just say you have a North Node in Sagittarius. Obviously, when the sun and Mercury and the moon move over it, like planets that move over it, if there are eclipses that are over it, it's going to accelerate. It's going to accelerate that. It's going to move quickly. You're going to want to achieve things and get things done. It could also make you really anxious. So keep that in mind. Now, the ages of your nodal returns are 18 to 20. Like it just varies because it's an 18th month transit. So right? So sometimes like the ages are a little bit off, especially like I have friends that are a year younger than me that have the same north node, but we're going to have our nodal return at the same time, but we're obviously going to be, we're going to be different ages as it starts. So just so you know, 18 to 20, 36 to 38, 54 to 56, 72 to 74. The nodal returns occur every 18 years and last for 18 months. Okay. The ages of your nodal oppositions are 9 to 11, so when you're preteen, 27 to 29, probably around the time like your Saturn return starts or just before, which is always fun for you guys because you're like my main clients, and 45 to 47, 63 to 65, and 80 to 83, etc. If you are blessed to live that long, yeah, it goes on. And of course, they are every 18 years. After ages 9 and 11, they're every 18 years for 18 months. Now, before I get into all the North Node signs, I just want to lay something out for you, okay? This does not factor in any particular planetary placements, like, or planetary aspects. I don't factor in that. Like if you've got a North Node in, say, Gemini with Venus, I'm not talking about that. Okay, that's for the members. Okay, so I'll be putting out planetary aspects to North Nodes in the members. Today, we're just focusing on North Node in the signs. It's a bit more general. This is only for signs and houses. The North Nodes are easier. So just so you guys know, the North Nodes are easier to achieve when there are like positive or easy aspects like trines and sextiles. North Nodes are more difficult with challenging aspects like oppositions and squares. It is very likely that you will need to watch 2 segments of this series, one for your nodal sign and the other one for your nodal house. So if you've got a North Node in Cancer in the 7th house, you will need to watch 2 segments. You'll need to watch the North Node in Cancer, and you'll also need to watch the North Node in Libra in 7th house. You'll need to watch 2, likely, unless you have like a North Node in Cancer in the 4th house, then you just need to watch 1. Yeah, so just putting that out there. And this presentation will be divided into 2 parts. We'll have from Aries to Virgo, then Libra to Pisces. So this is obviously the first recording, okay? All right, so let's jump into this, guys. Let's start from the top. Okay, so the North Node in Aries, which is right now, by the way, so this is very appropriate. You guys born in 86, 87, you're going through your second nodal return. How's it going? Some of you freaking out. Some of you having babies. The North Node in Aries, it's a brutal energy to master if you don't have Aries placements, but it's about pioneering and individualism, learning independence, taking a stance, rejecting the group think, fighting and challenging the status quo, making decisions for one's own self-interest, and cultivating the courage to stand alone. And here's the thing that a lot of North Node and Aries people, especially if they've got a lot of Libra and a lot of Virgo, which is hard for them to deal with, and I say this as an Aries myself, sometimes learning to be alone is the happy ending. Right? Which is hard because your South Node's in Libra, so you're kind of needy. But you got to learn to stand alone. It doesn't mean you're going to be alone forever, but you got to learn how to be alone and happy in it. Okay? So the North Node is what you're moving towards, okay? So going into all this Aries, independence, warrior, pioneering, individualistic energy. What you're leaving behind, but what you're also familiar with this Libra or 7th house South Node, is collaboration and negotiation, which often come naturally to you at your own detriment. Like, try and make people happy and people please and give it everything. You're trying to negotiate for what? Because now you're mentally ill. You're trying to negotiate with all these fuckheads. You need to stop. Right? You need to stop. That's why it's pushing you towards the Aries. Like, get out of this. You're often scared to take sides for fear of rejection. So I have a sibling and she's like so much Libra. She was like, I'm on the fence, like proud of it. I'm just like, stand up for something. Jesus Christ. Like, here's the thing. Not taking sides could be perceived as a good thing, being a fence sitter, but isn't it painful having that wood up your ass? Like, get off the fence, make a decision, stand for something important, because a friend to all, Libra, is a friend to nobody. Stand for nothing. And you have your legs cut out from under you. Prone to codependent relationships and people pleasing. Difficulty standing up for themselves. So a South Node in Libra, a South Node in Libra can be great because you know how to negotiate, you know how to conduct peaceful partnerships and all of that. But at some point, you're going to have to learn to grab the bull by the balls. You're going to have to learn how to go it alone. You're going to have to learn how to stand up for yourself, because negotiating with thugs, negotiating with abusive people, negotiating in situations that you don't want to be in, like, you got to go. You got to leave and find your own happiness. Think like an Aries. They don't give a fuck. They don't even give a fuck if they're perceived. Like, they don't care about being the good guy or the bad guy. They don't care. That's what makes them awesome. So go be an Aries. Okay, Taurus or second house North Node, and the Scorpio or eighth house South Node. So the North Node in Taurus is about building a life of abundance and making long-term investments on your own terms. Financial planning and stability, prioritizing comfort, beauty, and pleasure, developing strong self-esteem and a value system, and leaving the mess and ending toxic family cycles. Okay, so you are the legacy of all the people that came before you. And sometimes that's a very good thing. But very often, the legacy that family can leave you is trauma. I don't want to discount the good things that family can leave you, but if it's really, really bad, if it's like, say, a substance problem, or like an addiction, or just people treating each other badly, and that's like abuse, that's something that you will want to leave behind, right? You want to leave that Scorpio shit, and you want to create a strong foundation. Taurus is solid earth, where you can build your own house, build your own future on your own terms with your own money, and no one can fucking take it away from you. That's what you have to do, okay? Prioritizing your needs, your pleasure, because that South Node in Scorpio in the 8th house was all about other people's pleasure and other people's abundance, where nothing belonged to you. Let's have a look at it. What are you leaving with this South Node in Scorpio? Your abundance belongs to everybody, and you're tethered to intimate relations. Paying off debts, you're going to have to pay off debts or release from the contract. So very often with people with South Node in Scorpio, or even South Node in the 8th house, they feel this duty to people they don't even like because they're related, or that person helped you out and then you're under their thumb. Like, it's very mafia kind of energy, like Scorpio 8th house mafia. It's the family, it's a family business, that kind of shit. So in order to leave, very often you will have to pay a debt, right? It's kind of like Prince Harry, because Prince Harry was born in 84, 85. He's got a South Node near his Saturn in Scorpio, and he literally had to pay money to leave, right? So like he was at a financial loss, but he had to break free and move towards that Taurus and make his own family. Think Prince Harry when you think of this North and South Node. But yeah, you're going to have to pay off your debts, release yourself from the contracts, even if it hurts. You have to set yourself free, and learning to be okay with financial loss. Because ultimately the money that you're losing is not completely yours. It belongs to everyone else. Even if you did earn it, they all have a claim to it. So cut your losses and run. and build something by yourself on solid ground, not under the earth with all the lava, not with Hades. He's a dirty bastard. Standing tall and proud in the humiliation and the disgrace. So I think, you know, with this South Node, very well, you may have to return to that hometown, or you have to go back. Keep your head held up high. You know, there's no need to feel shame. With this South Node, there could be that feeling, but you have to keep your head held up high. But yeah, fuck everyone. Fuck it. Make your own happiness. You don't need these people. Let's talk about the Gemini or third house North Node. So it's about learning or relearning the simpler things, finding community and camaraderie, taking up a craft that requires repetition, social connection, and creative thinking, living in and finding joy in a smaller world, and making friends and keeping them close. So, you know, I like the North Node in Gemini. It could mean that you go back to that small town or that city that you grew up in, or maybe it means that you move to a completely different place, and maybe that small town or city or whatever it is a totally new one. But you create a community there. You become part of something that is small but is still bigger than you, and you learn how to I don't know, make a bowl and put it in a kiln, you know, like maybe you learn those simple things and finding joy in the simple things. You know, the North Node in Taurus is about finding joy in the simple pleasures. The North Node in Gemini is about finding joy in, you know, simple exploration and learning and, you know, being a child again, because that's what the third house in Gemini is about. It's about being a child. With the South Node in Sagittarius, this is what you're familiar with. This is where you're coming from. You know, you're very accustomed to abstract and big thinking that can leave one detached from everyday life. You know, Sagittarius is a great energy. It's very positive, but it's a very hungry energy. It's always looking for something bigger and greater and more. Can I do better? Ugh. Gemini's happy where it is and exploring the big wide world within a very small space. Whereas Sagittarius is the big wide world, right? You know, the South Node in Sagittarius or ninth house is also about wanderlust, wandering. It's vagabond energy, being lost for a very long time. You get a lot of fun when you're lost. Trust me, like I've walked around Europe lost and it's been great. But yeah, it's not the most stable energy. It's highly intellectual and spiritually expansive. I did make a misspelling there. I said high intellectual. I meant highly intellectual and spiritually expansive early life without the practical application. Here's the difference with Sagittarius and Gemini, which are both intellectual energies. Sagittarius doesn't have a lot of practical application because it's about philosophy and religion, higher learning, higher thinking, abstract thinking, avant-garde things, like that kind of stuff. And Gemini is about simple things like learning how to change the oil in your car, right? Not all the time, but a big philosophical thinker isn't going to know how to change the oil in the car. I don't know how to do that. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, if you have a Sagittarius or ninth house South Node, maybe you spent the first part of your life just traveling a lot and not being anchored down to anything, feeling quite lonely on the top of that mountain like a monk. Or maybe you didn't move at all, but you were just someone that was very interested in intellectual things that were far beyond like the normal age range when you were a child. So let's just say you were like a 10-year-old kid and you were reading, you know, Stephen King novels, because a lot of kids do that. That's very ninth house of them. Like reading things that are just too complex for, you know, all the other South Nodes to understand. So it's very, very big thinking. And then as you get older, you learn you kind of like recreate, or you try to create a childhood for yourself as an adult. And it's really beautiful because it means that you're going to have peers around you and friends. It's community. It's good. It's very good. Moving on. The Cancer or fourth house North Node. Oh, this is me. Because I have a North Node in the 4th house. Building a strong foundation that was neglected in the early part of life. A return home to the mother and the family. It's very prodigal son or prodigal daughter energy, buying a home, having children, or an overall focus on one's private life. So this is not the same, but similar to the Taurus North Node in that you are looking to build a strong foundation for your life, right? So the 4th house is a foundational house. It represents the mother, the home, the domestic sphere, the kitchen, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, right? You need to build a strong foundation for that. And that could be as literal as building a house, or it could mean having children, or it could mean that you don't have any children and you just have a really fun place to live, and you have family around you that maybe don't involve having children. Maybe you have lots of cats and dogs and goats, you know what I mean? But with your North Node in the 4th house, you have to release your South Node in the 10th house and realize that work isn't everything, because South Node in the 10th house, South Node in Capricorn is prone to workaholism. Or if it's not, and maybe there's pleasure there. I mean, if there's a Capricorn sun there or Capricorn planet on that South Node in Capricorn or on that South Node in the 10th house, then maybe it's very comfortable and it's hard for you to walk away from work. But if there's nothing there, if you've got no planets on that South Node in Capricorn or 10th house, it's going to be a bit easier to let go of the work and stop running around like a headless chicken trying to get everything done. You got to take care of yourself. You need to meditate. You need to buy a cat. You need a fish tank and stare at it. Like, that's what you need. You need some chill time. North Node in Cancer, North Node in the 4th house is chilling. I mean, sure, there's work to put into the home, but go to bed, make love in it. That's what that's about. Make love in the bed. Stop working all the time. Capricorn or 10th house South Node, workaholic tendencies or a duty to career or the public, which takes away from personal happiness. That's what you're accustomed to. Ugh, I've been there. The money and prestige starts to wear off. So all the promotions, all the praise, like it feels empty. It's not as warm as a hug, And yes, you are accustomed to praise, publicity, and or responsibilities. So there may even be this, like, with the South Node in the 10th house, maybe you were famous in a previous life, or you were just very well respected and very well known early on in your life, in your previous lifetime. In this lifetime, you got to learn how to be private. You got to learn how to cultivate a happy family life, because you've already done the career. It's time to retire. Leo or 5th house North Node, finding pleasure, joy, and cultivating creativity, learning to express oneself and be brave in their vulnerability, choosing endeavors that satisfy the self, stepping into the bright, warm light alone, and be the main character, enjoy the applause. Like, think J-Lo, who I know has gotten a lot of shit lately. I know. But you know what I admire about J-Lo? She never lets anyone see her bleed, and she does what makes her happy. She will have that Bridgerton-themed 55th birthday party. She will create a self-indulgent musical film extravaganza that everyone hates, but is, it brought her joy. And that's brave. She stood out there and you all fucking laughed at her. And she did it with her head held high and her makeup was fly and she looked amazing. And you all fucking laughed at her and she did not shed a tear. She never let you see her bleed. And that is why I admire Jennifer Lopez. So I know she's problematic. I know there's issues, but let's just think about the virtues that she has as an artist, even though she's not even the most talented singer. And apparently, I mean, I think she's a good dancer, but some people say she's not even a good dancer. I mean, but look what she's achieved. And she was fearless. That's some Leo shit. Same with Meghan Markle, who I think Meghan Markle also has a North Node in Leo with her son. So she's got a good North Node. She's got to learn to be brave. And like right now she's really quiet. She needs to be loud and she needs to speak her truth because her North Node's with her Mercury as well. Just fucking be visible. I know you don't like it. You want to be in that crowd with the Aquarius crowd and blend in with all the others and be in a group. But don't you just want to stand on stage and feel the warm light on your face? Don't you just want to stand in the sun? Don't you just want to be the main character? Come on. All my Leos get it. All my Leo people get it. I'm an Aries, so I get it. Like, fuck everyone. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's be the main character. Ah. Now, the Aquarius or 11th house south node may indicate an early life, which could be quite alienating, with a tendency to strike up friendships with other weirdos. So, like, having a lot of friends, like, maybe you don't have many friends, and the friends that you do have are weirdos. And we mean wholesome weirdos, hopefully wholesome weirdos, not the decrepit weirdos. We don't like those. We like wholesome weirdos, like cute people that don't fit in. So yeah, you might be a bit alienated, just have a few friends. Alternatively, maybe you feel alienated, you know everyone, but no one knows you, you know? So yeah, it's like lonely in the crowd kind of energy, like feeling like you're going with the crowd, like, you know, and you're just doing it because you don't want to be left all alone, you know. So yeah, it's a bit of an alienating feeling. Feeling isolated and alone in a room full of people, the search for meaningful connections, which can be like a waste of time very often. Like and I've been there. As an 11th house moon, like I've been in rooms searching for a friend, and I've never make a friend at the end of the night, but I tried. Like I've been there. It's not easy. And then there's maybe a humanitarian political stance early on in life. You're humanitarian and political early on in life. So if you think, back to Meghan Markle, her south node is an Aquarius with no planets there, nothing there. I think it's in her like 8th house, 7th house. Like she was always cooperating with people, always like as a child, like the initiatives with the commercial, like all of that, very south node in Aquarius. But she wasn't doing all that because she was lonely and she was alienated, and she came from a divorced family, and she just wanted friends, and she just wanted to be popular, and she just wanted, like it's that. So, not easy. So your destiny, if your south node is in Aquarius, your destiny is to learn how to shine in that warm light and be the main character, even if people hate you. Oh well, it's just more attention anyway. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is our last one, isn't it? Yeah, it is our last one. Okay, so the Virgo or 6th house north node. Getting sober. I'm talking to you guys, born in 1997. I think it's 1997, 98, something like that. You guys have that north node in Virgo. Getting sober, quit the weed, quit the drinking. Eventually you will, maybe not now, but by the age 37 you might, on your nodal return. You guys are about to go through a nodal opposition. Have fun with that. I'm talking to the 97, 98 babies. So you guys are getting sober, you're organized, and you're responsible, or you will be. You're entering the real world and being grounded in routine, learning how to budget, manage a household, and care for yourself and others, leaning into a more wholesome and safer life. I know that sounds boring, but look where you're coming from, bro. Like, look where you're coming from. That south node in Pisces or the 12th house south node. Oof. You guys have come from a world where there is little control and few boundaries, which may lead to unhealthy habits, nightmares, and destructive cycles and destructive relationships. These people may experience exploitation, homelessness, poverty, and abuse at an early age. Or they could even they could have trouble with substances, trouble with relationships. It's not easy. It can be very beautiful because they could be quite artistically or psychically gifted with this, and there's a lot of pleasure and love that comes from that. However, remember, the south node is the thing that goes sour. It's the thing that you have to let go, and usually bad things have to happen in order for you to let go of something. And last point here, they must leave behind the vices in order to truly find their place in the world. Because if you're in your south node, if you're in a Pisces south node, a 12th house south node, you want to numb yourself from the real world. You don't want to go into that 6th house. You don't want to go into the Virgo world, because it means that you're going to be exposed to people. You have to be organized. What if you don't fit in? Or your destiny is to fit in, or not to fit in, to belong. So stop smoking. Like, get it together. By the way, the North Node and Pisces people, no, we are not picking up drug habits. Okay, we gotta be careful with that. Very controlled. So yeah, the North Node in Virgo, the North Node in the 6th house is getting your act together and learning what it is to be responsible for other people. Like Virgo is the nurse, Virgo is the teacher. It's like, You need to create safe spaces and containers for the Pisces people. Like, you know, there are if a sick person is Pisces energy, then the healthy person is Virgo energy. And where does the sick person need to go to? It needs to go to a Virgo place where they can be taken care of and be given structure. That's the thing that they need. So if you have a North Node in Virgo, you will have to get your shit together. And you're going to have to stop with the vices. Yeah? So yeah. Guys, this is the end of part 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is my first time doing something that's not celebrity related. If you would like to see more, because I'm going to be doing case studies on the nodes with celebrities, of course, that will be put into my members, so I can do more deep dives into the North Node house placements and sign placements, and also like aspects with planets. Okay. Yeah, and if you'd like to support me, YouTube members, where you can see all of that, and then also the 15-minute and 5-minute readings, MP3 readings, I do those. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I know this has been a bit different. Yeah, I'll see you in part 2. Bye.